What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's Deonte Burden. Welcome to Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Put his mic up closer to me. Tonight we having a good show. Let me hold on 1 second. Oh, hold on one. Sorry about that. Had a quick little technical difficulty. We had the sports at the noise cancellation thing going on. We've got a great show for you guys tonight. Tonight we're discussing. I got a joint show going on both my YouTube channel, Change Lives and Mr. Short Dollar. But we're talking about will I have enough? Will I have to work forever? And the reason why we had talked about this particular subject is because it's not uncommon. You see so many people right now that have been working for years and years and years. They're reaching retirement age or close to it, maybe late 40s, mid 50s, and they see 60, 65, 67 right around the corner. And so they start asking themselves, listen, man, shit, I ain't really have a pension. I only have so much money in my 401k. Will I have to work forever? How much longer will I have to work? And it's a harsh reality for a lot of people because, again, most companies have moved away from the whole pension era. And even the ones that still may be allocating certain funds to towards pensions at their particular job, that amount has shrunk. And a lot of people really don't know what to do. And so that's why you probably see a big uptick in probably people in their 50s, looking to go down the road of entrepreneurship. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's a little bit more challenging to go into entrepreneurship because you're panicking as opposed to going to entrepreneurship because you got a passion with doing it. So that's what we're going to have a discussion tonight again. Will I have to work forever? It's a growing concern of many people not having funds, available to them in retirement. Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. Again, this is a joint show between two of my channels, Mr. Short Dollar and Changing Lives. Again, we're talking about will I have to work forever? And if you guys have noticed, I'm up here at the crib. Man, I was driving, man, my air conditioner went out of my car. And shoot, your boy was like a little microwave hot dog in there. So I had to just, tell Lab that I wasn't going to be at the studio this week. But coincidentally, I think Lab or Reed's birthday is next week. So they're going to be out of town. So I'm not going to be in the studio this week or next week. So we still going to make it happen and everything. But I think Lab's be coming in on one of the other platforms, moderating and everything. But like I said, again, I'm not at the studio today. But the subject matter we're talking about is very, very important because, again, you have so many people that really, really, really aren't prepared for retirement. And I think it's one of those subjects that a lot of people know what's going to happen, but you really don't start thinking about it till you get a little bit older. Let me put something in the chat. Like I said, right now we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. It's a joint show between Changing Lives and Mr. Short Dollar. Let me put this in right quick. I had my fans going. I had the noise cancellation going in. So if you see your brother start sweating, please bear with me. Because my fans ain't going, but they were making a little too much noise. Hold on 1 second right quick, everybody. And if you're on TikTok and Instagram, you won't be able to see the chat, but feel free to go to either Changing Lives hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, or Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. You'll be able to see the show in its entirety. And I would recommend everybody to make sure you go to both channels and subscribe to both channels to take advantage of this great information. But we're talking about tonight's show. What had me thinking about, just a conversation I had with a close family member. And we were just talking. And they, this person here is in their 60s. And they've done, they've worked their whole lives, but it's been an odd job here, job there. I won't say odd job, but probably, jobs they didn't necessarily have securities or pensions and everything. And now they just working, working at this company, working at this warehouse. And they, like I said, they're in their 60s now. And they just having that conversation with me like, look, man, I'm just tired of working. And hell, I really don't have a damn solution for them, because at the end of the day, I think the harsh reality of it is that you can't, when you're younger, you have time to sit here and fix things and create things. But as you get older, you can't really do that. And guys, feel free, to discuss everything in the chat. I'm sorry I don't have any call in for you to do tonight. Got a call someone on TikTok. Do you know where I can find angel investors? No, I don't. We're with the YouTube channel. I'm basically an accounting firm, and as far as angel investors, I'll probably tell you just do a basic Google search to do that. I don't do any recommendations in regards to any kind of finance or anything like that. We're doing it. We're just like I said, we're just a basic business service firm. But as far as recommending certain institutions, as far as lending and things like that, we don't do that. Um, but again, just having those conversations in regards to tonight's subject, where will I have to work forever? Um, One thing about it, just hearing this person that's close to me, really just, and I know they're really, panicking, like, look, man, I'm 60 some years old. I'm tired. I'm going to work. I'm tired of doing this or whatever. And the harsh reality is I don't think they have really a say in the matter, to be honest with you. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of people are. We have a vision where we want to be as we get older and what we want to be doing. But what are we working towards that vision? That's a whole nother thing. And the vast majority of people I know aren't probably savvy with investing with, or even just retirement planning and things like that. And you go from, I would say, anybody younger than 50. Um, Most of them not in a situation where they have a pension set up, unless you're working for a government agency or something like that. Government agency, maybe some Fortune 500 companies. Most of them still even have a 457 or 401k plan or some kind of IRA where you can prepare. Most companies just really don't have pension plans set up outside of government agencies. So the harsh reality is, you really don't start thinking about it till you get, around that late 40, but definitely, north of 50 range. Okay, I got maybe 10, 15, 20 years before I retire. What am I going to do? And that's when I think sometimes maybe the number crunches start coming in. So you start wondering, hey, what do I have? How we're going to be able to work these particular things? And, from that point, shit, you don't know, that might start panicking because what you thought you had, you really don't have, and for being prepared for that. And I try to have, if you haven't noticed, guys, we've done several shows. Let me put that in the chat. I know the one we did with how to plan for retirement a short dollar way. Like I say, guys, whatever platform that you're looking on, feel free to go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube or Changing Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. I'm sorry. So you can actually see the whole chat going in and everything. We can also check when you see us on Facebook, the information is on there as well. But I'm putting in a couple of videos we did, how to plan for retirement, the short dollar way, and also how much do I need to save for retirement. Those two videos that we did, I think those two shows that we did, where we broke down exactly how much money, how to calculate how much money you need in retirement, and also how to plan for it as well. But those, again, the harsh reality of it is so many of us don't look at that, and you find out real quick. Just from an easy example. Again, we're asking, do I have to work forever? What I always say to people in an easy summary, most people just say you want to retire at the age of 60. God willing, you plan to live all the way to 80 years old. So that's 20 years you plan to live. And if you just say from a simplistic term, just say, I think I need, for in retirement from 60 to 80, I think I need to live off $30,000 a year. $30,000 a year, right? So if you say, if I just need $30,000 a year, and I base that off of you 60 years old, and again, some may retire a little bit before, may retire a little bit afterwards, but just say 30,000. I base that off, typically by that age, maybe mortgage is almost done. You probably, kids are grown. You maybe just need some help with your car note here and there. That, just a few things you may be coming out of. But with that said, 30,000 a year, plan to live 20 years, that's $600,000. So with that said, if you know that you probably don't have $600,000, you're age 60, plan to live in the age 80, you don't have a pension set up, you got to be kind of realistic about what am I going to do? Because we can start looking at how much money you have in your funds, be it you may sit there and say that, hey, I got $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 in my 401k, and I think I'm on the right track. But the thing of it is, I always say do reverse planning. At the end of the day, you don't get caught up in what you got. Be focused more on what you're going to need. And that's probably one of the biggest things a lot of people don't miss out on, because they can say, hey, I've accumulated this over the years, but what are you really going to need with it? And it's, like I said, it's probably something that a lot of people really don't visit until they get close to it. Definitely 55. When people hit 55, because that's when we get most of our calls. in regards to retirement planning and things like that, what people want to do as far as investing. And I'm always telling people, my undergrad is in finance. And one of the biggest things we talk about, being that investment horizon where you want to start, get out of the market and start, getting ready for retirement. And you look at it, the closer you are to retirement age, the less amount of money you want to be having a market. You want to be moving to more savings and stable funds, bonds, and things like that. And that's not unless you just do it for a living or you just have some funds allocated. That's not the damn time to be day trading, fixing and flipping when you 50, 60 years old, because again, you don't have the time. And I'll go with some tips later in the show in regards to things you can be doing if you're on that tail end, for you not to be panicking about not having enough in retirement. Just give you some strategies that you can work on if you have hit, let's say 50, 55, and you're about 10, 15 years out from retirement, and you haven't been saving. I got some sound advice because again, you know how much money you're making. You know how much you can allocate to the side for retirement and savings like that. It makes no sense to sit here and try to be allocating, $200 or $300 a month to your retirement plan, and it's not going to add anything to make a dent in retirement. I mean, it's just keeping it real, because one thing about numbers is that numbers are always true. Words and all that other stuff, those are just straight feelings, but numbers are going to always be true. So we can just say, I'm saving, I'm putting up money and everything like that. But when you start meeting with a numbers nerd like me or something like that, when they start writing those numbers down and forecasting it, it's just looking at, listen, which what you're doing now at just say moderate rate, let's say 6-8% increase over, each year with a portfolio, you're only going to have $150,000, $160,000 in retirement. That's not to scare the hell out of you, but that should, get you to where you're like, listen, what do I need to plan accordingly? So I'm not in the position where I'm going to have to be working, 70, 80 years. And if you're working when you're 70 and 80 years old, you want to be doing it because you want to be doing it. Okay. Not because you kind of forced to do it. And unfortunately, that's, I think the vast majority of people that are doing it, they may have retired 2 or 3 jobs. You didn't retire from the military, you didn't retire from the post office, and you're still working because you still don't have enough to cover the lifestyle that you want. Right. So, and this is again not to ridicule anybody. This is just for if you haven't, start getting proper planning in place to to do things accordingly. So when we start talking about this in regards to will I have enough in retirement, because again it's a growing concern for a lot of people not having enough funds for retirement. And guys, feel free if you got any questions or anything about the subject matter tonight, feel free to chime in the chat. Like, I'm sorry I ain't in the studio, got the phones going, but feel free to, if you got a question or concern in regards to, if you feel like you might have to work forever, you don't have enough funds allocated for retirement, feel free to, leave your comments in the chat so we can discuss everything. But when we start looking at, there are several factors where you can be in a situation where you don't have enough. And the number one is really just inadequate retirement savings. When we say inadequate retirement savings, most of the times, I think what was the inception of 401k, those like 93. We had, in just, a lot of companies that actually had pension funds, people were retiring, coming to retirement age, and they wasn't doing the best in managing those particular funds. But people retirement coming on. You see the same thing that's going on right now with Social Security, with the actual amount of people that were coming up for retirement. They didn't have the funds allocated, so went to the federal government, created these retirement plans, 401k, 457 plans, and they pretty much put the onus back on the actual employee to give you an opportunity to invest in certain things. I'm sorry, y'all see my head sweating. I had to cut that fan off. That's how I was in my car today when the damn air went out. When those actual products were made, they were set up to take really the pressure off the actual companies and organizations that had to get those retirement products together. So now, at the end of the day, you still have companies that actually will have probably a retirement specialist coming in. This is the company that actually will cover your retirement. They'll come in and talk to you. Hey, if you put X amount of dollars to the side each month, and at this rate, this is how much money you have saved. And you're like, okay, that's cool. And it definitely, and you see sometimes people put so much money in, and hey, I got X amount of dollars put in, and that's great. I'm not trying to have a conversation in regards to, hey, you didn't save anything and I got more than you or this person got more than you. It's not that. It's about realistically understanding, like, shit, do I have enough? Because if you retire, just say if you retire at 60 years old or 65 and you got $150,000 in your 401k, you was like, yeah, that's pretty good. I got $100,000 saved. That's cool. But just keep in mind, if you living out $30,000 a year, it's just really gonna last you maybe about 4 years. And you got to just be realistic. It's going, and it may go quicker than that because now you're in a situation you got all this money at your disposal, as opposed to it coming in somewhat of a discipline track in regards to just in the form of an actual payroll check. But now it's all there at one time. I mean, you see it just like time anybody wins the lottery. We've seen it with those PPP. You've seen it with those disaster funds. Once people got that kind of money, if you're not the type of person There we go. Guys, I apologize about that. I have a little technical difficulty in this end. We're back up, rocking and rolling. Now, the question comes up is my 401k won't transfer. What should I do? I will play in the future. Your 401k, the question was asked, my 401k won't transfer. What should I do? And I am with my future plan. Okay. If typically, a 401k is typically the same thing, we're looked at as a traditional Roth plan. Most of the time you can't, you go to another job, sometimes they may have a transferable, you can move your 401k to disperse it from one employer to another, or you may have to get a traditional Roth IRA to do that. You can also, which is actually same way a 401k is they are taking all your money pre-tax, saving it, letting it grow, and then your disbursements on the back end are tax going out. Or you can roll it over to a Roth. Little bit, I mean, just give me a call. I can go over some things with you or what you need to do in regards to doing it. But you may not be able to roll it over to the new company coming to, but you'll be able to roll it over. Again, you can roll it over to you may have to do it at an outside agency. We're doing it, but it is an option because your money is your money. Your company that you have, they may not necessarily offer the same products you have. but you can get it dispersed out. But the company that actually you had your job with had the 401k. If the new job is providing one, they can receive it. They may not necessarily, take the stocks you had at the other company, but they will take just if it's cashed out at whatever the value is and roll it over. But you can move it into a traditional where it's pre-tax just like you had before, or you can do a Roth where they can tax it going in and all your disbursements on the back end. It won't be taxed. But it's just reach out to me and I can, offline, I can help you out with that. But that's a good question. Oh, I have the paperwork they gave me. Just give me a call then. Just give me a call a little bit and we'll get everything squared away. That's not a problem. Hey, I see my mama tuning in. Hey, mama, how you doing? Again, tonight we're talking about will I have to work forever? We're discussing growing concern with a lot of people that are nearing retirement age and, just worrying about, hey, do I got enough money saved or I'm in a good situation to be prepared for retirement? Again, we had a little technical difficulty a little while ago. I apologize about that, but now we're back up and running. The first issue that we were talking about that can cause people to have any issues in regards to not having enough safe retirement. The first one was inadequate retirement saving. The other one is, it's a good thing, but it's probably can cause some challenges. That's the increased life expectancy. People are living longer, people working out, people taking medicine, people taking are doing a lot of precautions that people didn't do before. A lot of folks weren't going to the doctor, so people are living longer. And you see the trends over years, it's still increasing because in the day of modern medicine, people are in a position now that they can actually get certain prescriptions. Certain ailments might have put them in the grave, 40, 50 years ago. They're not doing that now. People living with all kind of ailments and diseases and stuff like that now. So with that said, because they're living longer and you might have prepared for it to live at 80 years old, now you're 85, 90. And another thing that's coming up is just, geriatric care. Not only, just saying, hey, do I have enough in retirement? Hey, do I have enough saved just in case somebody got to take care of me? All these concerns are coming up. But again, usually you don't see these kind of things really coming to fruition or really being a common issue with a lot of times with people is until really they nearing those times where retirement may be right around the corner, i.e., definitely, hitting 55. I think 55 is one of them ages like, hey, I'm 10 years out. And that's what they think about it. But a lot of times, just be honest with you, I think people just don't go to the number side of it, trying to calculate it, because once we start seeing numbers hold us accountable because the numbers are real. And then when you sound like, oh, I only want to look at it, I know I can do it, I can pray on it and think on it, but that's not really going to work, right? That's not really going to really help you because again, it is what it is in regards to that. So if you're ever in a situation where you have not been diligently adding into it, you can just take interest rate out of the equation. If you put $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year, $2,400, $3,600, $4,800, right? $6,000. So you already know what you're going to have each year without any interest rate. So if you really don't, you can sit here and just say, I'm putting so much money in. So much money is just that, so much money. But when you start putting real numbers in and you calculate, you can be realistic about what you can have and what you can't have about it. And also, what a person at 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, depending where they start in their retirement planning, again, that changes things. A younger person can be more aggressive. They can, with doing it, they have time to kind of mess up. Not that much time, but definitely a person that's older, you hit 50, 45, 50 years old, you really don't have the same amount of time that a younger person will have. So you got to be, a little bit more, put in a little bit more money with doing it, but you don't have the actual opportunity to be as aggressive as them because you don't have to lose. You have a short amount of time and you don't have, you need to have solid things that you are putting your money in. So, you have to be a little diligent with that. And that's why I would recommend anyone, if you have not, meet with some kind of financial planner. I know there's a lot of products out there for you to do things yourself and you can try to invest. And definitely, in the past couple of years, everybody wanted to be a day trader, fixer, flipper. When I owned a salon, I remember one of the girls in my shop, she was telling me about getting into investing. I'm just telling, look, I got an undergrad in finance, got a master in supply chain. I'm a numbers person. We're doing it. And I'm, and I understand. I know people get excited about the opportunity of making money, But I'm just like, hey, this is not your damn world. Now we were talking about perms and styles and cuts and stuff. I think she'd be a straight guru, but trying to sit here and try to worry about trading and stuff, she was told out her damn league, and it didn't last long. And that was not to knock or anything like that, but I think sometimes we can be unrealistic about what we're trying to do and what's out there, especially when we start talking about retirement and things like that. But definitely, guys, if you haven't, make sure that you are talking to some professional. And definitely, I know most of those are retirement funds. Definitely, if you have a 401k or anything associated with your job, they usually have some kind of person. I'm sweating, boy. They usually have some kind of person that come and meet with you, monthly, quarterly basis, or you can just set up appointments to talk to you about the funds you have allocated. But definitely, guys, take it serious. Take it serious. You want to be doing what you want to be doing in retirement, not what you have to do. That's just my personal opinion. Everybody got different ways to want to look at it. But if you want to be sitting there doing, things when you hit 60 some years old, 70 some years old, like, okay, cool, to just kill some time. I get it. That's cool. But if you have time, don't put yourself in a position where you're doing what you have to do. Okay. Hindsight, the best sight. But then when you have conversations with somebody that knows and stuff like that, take it serious and don't really think that the time that you may perceive you have, you really do have. Okay. The next thing we start talking about things that can kind of cause you shortcomings in regards to having enough money available for retirement. That's really what we talk about for decline in traditional pensions. Like I said before, outside of most government agencies, maybe some and I won't even say no Fortune 500 companies, because even most of them may be moved over to the actual, retirement plans, 401ks and things like that. What you do have with them, maybe some high execs or some people in management, they get the opportunity to get certain pensions. It was a video on TikTok went viral. This guy, I guess he's working for some kind of plant, and I think they told the guys they were getting rid of their pension, and he was blowing a damn gasket because he had been at the company 30-some years. If I can find that video, I'll reshare it on the YouTube channel. But this guy was blowing a damn gasket because he had been in the company 30-some years. You had security was working. And one of the things about it, they're telling you got a pension. And all of a sudden they tell him, hey, no, you don't have a pension. And I don't know how his company was set up, how the company set up, if they were actually funding the pension, or they were taking a percentage of their revenues, not revenues of that particular person's income and allocating toward it. I don't know. Or, just something they had. I don't know how they were set up. But he was blowing the gas, and rightfully so, with doing it. But a lot of times it's nothing intentional. But again, when you start looking at, I'm putting so much money to the side for a group of people's retirement, depending on what kind of upticks have been in the market. Because I worked for an insurance company for 15 years, so I was on the other side, seeing how those actual losses and claims were funded, how they had to actually allocate so much money to investment products to create a pool. And we like the show we talked about last week on Mr. Short Dollar in regards to how those risk pools are set up to actually be able to pay for those claims and those payouts. Same thing was going on with a pension fund. They have to take a certain amount of money and allocate it to certain funds and hope they grow. You got to be realistic. You start looking at it, and that's really what's going on right now with Social Security. Like, there's not enough money going into Social Security to continue to pay for these payouts that's going out, right? It just is. Damn, it's math. It's math, and you have to be realistic about it. Just saying, you know how much of your check right now is going to damn Social Security and Medicare. You know how much. That's the smallest part getting taken out. When you see that little FICA, when that's going out, when you see that being allocated towards, you see that, and you start thinking about when you got a large percentage of people retiring, it's not going to be a lot of money, and the actual benefit, in the next 10, 15, 20 years, is going to shrink because it's got too many people pulling from the pool. It's less, it's more math, again, unless people, and I know people are not going to be on board. Well, look, take more money out of my check for Social Security. They're not going to do that, right? And then the average person that's funding that 401k, they're not. You have plans. I push people all the time. If you have a max to match with your job, wherever, they'll match you up to 8-10%. Do it, because that's free money that you can get. But a lot of times people not understand everybody got different economic situations, but they're not maxing the actual amount that they can put in there. And what's happening is now you only have X amount of dollars in there. And again, as the years increase, you can't get time back. You can always add more money, but the key thing when we start talking about compound interest is time. You can't get time back. So at the end of the day, those years that you've lost, those will probably be the most impactful when you start talking about growing any kind of investment product, because again, the rate, that way that's calculated with the rate and the time, you needed that more than actually the money you putting in, right? But so many times people miss out on that, because again, they didn't take it serious, they didn't have the money to do it, whatever it was. But those, it's hard to kind of recover from that once the time has went away. And again, you don't have that many places that actually doing a pension. And I know even with those government agencies, they have the I think those thrift saving plans where they have different funds, just like 401k, where they still allocating certain amounts. So I think the vast majority of places actually got rid of, like teachers, the railroad got retirement fund. I think most maybe firefighters and police officers and stuff, but it's not that many. The military have theirs with doing it and stuff, but it's not that many places that actually have pensions and stuff like that. And so, and even you still have some places that have just transitioned over to them. And again, they may just give you, hey, this is what you have allocated. You've been part of this pension, which is you $30,000-$40,000, and it's not going to be a lot. It's not going to be. I'm just telling you, it doesn't be a lot. So that's another thing that have went into it to make to cause issues with people having enough allocated, for retirement. Another thing is inflation. We've seen for the past 2 years how much the cost of living has just skyrocketed. And you're allocating money. You started working at a job in 1990 something, and now we fast forward to 2020 something. It was cool, for doing then, but as the cost of living has adjusted and stuff, your pattern of payment and your pattern of investment hasn't adjusted accordingly to it, and that can cause issues. So with that said, if you haven't been doing the proper plan or the proper allocating to do that, now you can have some issues. So that's what happens a lot of times where inflation, because again, you're not necessarily going to be in a situation where they're going to have the funds available to you to adjust what you were doing, when you initially start putting those funds to the side or allocating those and stuff. And that's very, very important, because I don't think most of us are prepared for certain jumps, right? Because you look at in the past, let's say the past year and a half, 2 years, look how much rent has increased. Look how much just the groceries and things like that had increased. Those kind of things like that. You start having two or three spikes over 20, 30 years. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. You might can handle those kind of uncomfortable situations at 20, 30 some years old. You hit 50, 60, 70 years old, it's real tough to tell somebody 70 years old on a fixed income, they look, now you got to pay $1,800 in rent, and they were just paying maybe $1,100, $1,200 a year before that. So it's real tough. And again, sometimes unless you got a crystal ball, you don't necessarily know if you're going to be prepared for those kind of spikes. Okay. Another thing is medical expenses. Here's the deal. Like we talked before, people taking better care of themselves, people going to their doctor's appointment, they taking their medicine and stuff like that, they living longer and stuff. But you still, well, my uncle, he's deceased now, but he kept saying, I remember one time I was telling him I was fine. He said, just keep living. Just keep living. And if you keep living, it's bound to start having things happen to you, not necessarily be anything that you did wrong or whatever like that. But again, as we continue to live, we continue to get older, things happen. And as things happen, now we got medical expenses, right? Especially things that are prevalent in the Black community, heart disease, diabetes, prostate, fibroids, all those high blood pressure, kidney diseases, all these kind of things that are prevalent in African Americans. Some hereditary, some, because of certain lifestyles and stuff like that. But as you getting older, you working and stuff like that, it may be a little bit more comfortable to pay for your copay and pay for your prescription. But shit, you start getting retirement age, man, shoot, that's a whole different animal. And that's one reason why you see a lot of people working, because they have to pay for Those particular things they have to be paying for. I got to keep my prescription going, man. I can't afford to stop working. I've heard it all the time. Another thing, just family. A lot of times, depending on how everything's going, you may be taking care of a parent, um, grandkids, your kids, or whatever. If you have not been, those kind of things, we start factoring in retirement. Like, hey, I didn't, I work to take care of, man. I ain't work to take care of everybody afterwards. But the harsh reality is a lot of times people are in those kind of situations where they're doing those particular things. Let me put this real quick. I want to put something in the feed, guys. This. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dog, and also change the lives. I want to put this in the link. If you guys got any question in regards to planning for retirement, worrying about if you maybe possibly have enough already allocated it right now, or things you could do to help yourself, feel free to put a question in the chat and everything. Again, this is not a session where we're trying to ridicule you, talk bad about you, look at you funny, anything like that. We're doing everything to help you, right? Just one of those horrible cups of coffee my son made for me right for the show and everything. So I'm sorry, y'all. Again, we're talking about do I have to work forever? We're addressing the growing concern that a lot of people may be having as they enter a retirement age and not necessarily have enough funds allocated to cover them in retirement. We just went over a couple of things that actually lead to that. And another one is, and I think this is probably one of the most prevalent, and that's getting late started saving. It's nothing uncommon to see people that at a job so many years that have a 401k and never, they've been at 10, 15 years, they over 40, and they haven't been putting any money to it. And I'm just telling you right now, guys, listen, it ain't the best way to be. It ain't the best way to be. Again, you cannot get time back. You cannot get time back. And you got to be realistic about how much money you have to allocate each month. That's the thing about it. And you say to yourself, well, look, I'm going to put $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. Like, that's not going to be enough to cover you for 1 month in retirement. So you got to understand. That's the kind of pressure you got to look at you putting on yourself. The older you get, you got to put so much more money, and what kind of strengths you are in financially. And if you're not going to be in a situation where you can actually allocate that kind of money to the side, you got to figure out other things. And we'll discuss it. So don't trip. Just hang on now. Hang in now. And I'll give you guys, just like we're talking about in dressing, I'm going to give you guys a perfect strategy to help you if you have started late in retirement. Okay. Perfect strategy to help you with that. Last one, just being certain market volatilities, because again, I did a video maybe a month ago, but it was a video I actually did a couple of years ago talking about tangible assets. Because one of my mentors, he was very adamant to me about that market crash back in the early 90s, how his 401k, and it recovered, but how he had lost so much money in his 401k because he had been investing in products and stuff. And he got into, he brought me up on just tangible assets, i.e., collectibles and stuff like that. That mean comic books, it can be autographs, it can be paintings or whatever. But those actual tangible assets, tangible meaning things you can touch, those actually are things that actually pretty much appreciate. They don't appreciate it at all. Even looking at what happened with Jay-Z, I mean, what made him, change his whole stratosphere in wealth was when he started getting into art, buying those art pieces and how they were appreciating in value. But those are particular things that actually will change particular things. And I'm a big proponent of doing that. But when we start talking about market volatility, you can't handle the market crash, you losing half of your portfolio value when you're 60 years old. But what I will say this to people is that when we start talking about retirement, again, my background is in finance. You shouldn't be 50, north of 50, dealing in stuff. You maybe have a percentage or something that you're playing with as far as dealing in the market, but you should be moving the vast majority of your portfolio to stable funds, because you hit 50, we're looking at a 15-year period that you have just left to work. You should be more so allocate most of your stuff to stable funds. That's just the reality of it. When you're talking any kind of actual financial plan, anything like that, that 20, 30, living into your 40s, where you actually wrestling with the market and taking risks and gambles, you hit 50, you shouldn't be doing it, because why? You don't have the time to recover to get that back. Okay, so market volatility is real. You see, we just seen that when it crashed. You see those bubbles and stuff, and like, man, I'm doing great, because so many times people we want to get into day trading, get into investing, and they have really pretty much a good day, and they get a good day confused with expertise. And next thing you know, they hold their pants up with a shoestring, because again, they made some decisions. It's not their world, right? It's not their world. And unfortunately, that happens far too often to people, because again, you feel good about something, you think you get some expertise, and it really doesn't work that way. What we got right here, savvy publicity, PR. I'm sorry for boogering it up. Great topic. How does one factor in impact? How does one factor in impact? If I'm reading, I'm not sure I'm understanding it right, but I apologize if you don't mind. I don't know if it's if I'm misreading it out. But the next one is, how does high inflation factor in planning for retirement? Well, that's what we just talked about. Just inflation. Well, now we'll say this, Savvy or publicity PR. We're going through it. You're looking at it on Instagram. If you go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar or Change the Life, hosted by Deonte Burden, you'll see the video is entirety. We just went over inflation probably about 5-10 minutes ago in regards to doing that. And again, just understanding that the cost of living at one period when you start investing, and the cost of living 20 years now, it's kind of hard to forecast that, especially when we start looking at certain spikes in the economy with doing it. And the only thing I will tell people, the only thing that you can do as far as prepare for inflation now for 10, 15 years from now, just with that cost of living adjustment, you just need to be increasing the money you're allocating as years go by, right? You can't continue to put in $100 into the market every year or towards your retirement and think it's going to have the same impact, because you're going to have those kind of things happen. You're going to have inflation. You're going to have the cost of living is going to increase and things like that, right? We know the value of $1 50 years ago is not the same as it is right now, right? So we have to kind of prepare ourselves for that kind of thing. But that's why I said, guys, listen, one of the biggest problems I think people have, just people like me, or when you deal with financial planners, you deal with attorneys, you don't have to use us. Like, there's no barrier to entry to start your business up and start investing. But at the end of the day, when you want to go online and actually do certain things because you have access to certain products or access to certain things, that's where issues come up, because it's not your world. If I want, there's a lot of things that we all can do DIY. If I want to build a house, if I want to build a car from scratch, or I want to do certain things, but you can't discredit expertise. And I'm just going to be honest with you with that. I'm a real big proponent of that. That's why when you go into, and nobody knows everything. That's why when you go into a medical office, you see they have books everywhere. You go into a law office, they have they have manuals and books there. Nobody knows everything, but people that actually experience, they've seen a lot of different situations, scenarios, and things like that. And you can actually think that you have something down, but because you don't have the years behind you and stuff, you miss out. So I'm always going to be a big proponent of trying to get some kind of, credible counsel. And I push that to my kids all the time, because you know how it is. People, they had no shortage of giving you advice and telling you what to do things, but they really don't know how to fix it, right? They're just giving their opinion. But definitely, when that question that was just asked about inflation, just kind of, you just need to be making sure that you're making your adjustments to your pay over the years to increase for that, because things are going to change. The value of every of the dollar, any kind of currency, is going to adjust over years, especially in the cost of living with it. So you just need to be putting yourself in a position where the money you're putting in is going to be have some kind of increased impact in regards to cost of living being adjusted in the future. Again, tonight we're talking about, will I have to work forever? And again, we're just addressing a lot of people having concerns near retirement age, just like, do I have enough money put to the side? Have I been on the right track with allocating certain things? Because again, this is a common conversation with a lot of people north of 50, north of 55. Because like I said, that's that age you're like, look, I got 10 years to do this. Now, sometimes people say, well, look, I'm going to work a couple more years and do this, that, and that. But remember, the vast majority of us don't have pensions. The vast majority of people do not have pensions to be able to fall back on, right? That's the thing with that. And plus, everybody got different lifestyles. We get in the day and age, everybody want to travel, everybody want to do certain things, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But you got to be realistic about the things that I'm doing. Like, can I really sustain that in the future, with the actual things I'm gonna have allocated? And most people aren't. Most people aren't, and most people can't. So that's why we want to have that conversation, because I'm all about personal accountability. A lot of times people get away from personal accountability because now it's on you to do certain things to make sure certain things have in place. And it's easier for people to say, I didn't know. I didn't know. And for some odd reason, people think I didn't know, or no one didn't tell me, takes the accountability off of you, and it doesn't. Because I'm former military. It's not about what you don't know. So I'm gonna ask you, why the hell do you go look to find out? Because we Google everything else. We figure out everything else we need to know or we feel is important to us. But things that we're gonna have to be accountable for, especially money wise, people just leave it alone. Think like, hey man, well, why didn't you do this? I didn't know. You don't have to know. You just need to know where to look or who to get in contact with. And that's the thing about it. And even having a discussion like this tonight, if you are, getting older, you've been at a job so many years, you're like, hey man, I know it's around the corner, and you have not been doing everything. Hey man, it's not the time to sit here and panic or get out of this show and don't look at it and everything. The shit's not going to go away. But again, like I said, guys, I'm going to give you a good strategy that I think will help you guys. So what I'm going to do now is go over a couple things that can help you if you have not been diligent about putting money in, or just to kind of maybe help you with the process. But then I'm going to give you my simple formula. What I did, I just put in 2 videos and how to what you need to save for retirement and how to plan for retirement in the short dollar way. Remember, guys, this is on the feed on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. If you're looking on Instagram and TikTok, I can't connect you to the yard stream. So, I just can put it. So I apologize. It just, technology just isn't there yet. But definitely you go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube or Change the Lives hosted by Deonte Burden. Mr. Short Dollar is a finance channel. Change the Lives is more of a motivational channel. But both of them, they're separate, but subject matter like tonight, it can benefit both audiences with that. That's why we're streaming on both. But definitely you can go to the YouTube channels and see the both videos in their entirety. Please do that if you can. Again, Google Mr. Short Dollar and they'll pop right up. You'll see that. But to address the issue of not having enough money in retirement available when retiring, individual can take a couple proactive steps. And the first one is, number one, try to start saving early as possible, right? So again, if you haven't been doing that's one thing. If you still have opportunity to do this, number one, just start working on it, right? Start working on it, addressing what you need, how much money you are going to need, especially when you start looking at lifestyle, right? We all know. See, it's one thing to say, well, I just want to have this. Be realistic about your lifestyle. That's why I said the $30,000. I think $30,000 is easy to say, hey, I'm 60-something years old. That's probably what I'm going to be needing in retirement. You said, well, look, I make more than that now. I mean, what you make now and what you're going to be needing as you get older, it may be totally different because you don't have the same constraints. And it keep it real. You're not going to be able to move in your 60s like you did in your 20s. I mean, you got some exceptions to the rules. I've seen some of these fitness people doing that's cool, whatever, but that's not the vast majority of people, right? So I would say, number one, starting that plan, getting it together, and start as early as possible with doing it. And and early is mean just do it. Damn the age you are, but just start addressing it. What to get some kind of formal plan or get some kind of action in, and definitely be able to talk to somebody, some professional, to say, hey, listen, hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm trying to do, and they can give you advice for you. This is key. Get advice for you. A lot of times we can sit here and look on one of those digital calendars, or the people come by and visit you at your job, and they'll say, hey, if you put in this at this rate, and they'll have a little sliding thing, they'll say, hey, you'll have whatever in. That is cool, but that shit don't apply to you. You need to have somebody that can sit down with you and tell you, hey, listen, what are you trying to do? Because the end game is the end game, right? Where are you trying to be living at? And they can just do that. They can actually break it down. If the person that you have available to you cannot break it down for you like that, then go find somebody that can. I'm just being honest with you, because I can't stress to you enough how important it is to really be on top of this, because you're not going to have the energy level as you get older to be able to sit here and deal with it, or even to be able to move like that, deal with stress like that. So try to be as proactive as possible now, to try to find, even if you have a number that you're comfortable with, still try to find somebody in that can sit here and explain to you what you need to be doing in retirement. Because again, uh, I just told you guys, if you retire at 60 and want to live to 80, 30,000 a year, that's $600,000. $600,000, right? And that's just for $30,000 a year. That's not a lot of money, right? So you start talking like, hey man, listen, you feel good. Hey, I just got a couple hundred grand saved. I just do this. I'm on top of that. That shit ain't gonna last you that long. It ain't. It ain't. And it's not to scare you, but it's more like, hey, let's start preparing and find a strategy where we can do that. Okay. You can create a budget, like I said before, get you some professional advice. You can start maybe consider downsizing. You know what you need. Just say if you want to move to number one is one of those senior communities where you say, listen, I don't need all this particular stuff. Kids grown, you got my grandbaby visit and stuff, and it's perfect for her. You may want to consider one of the senior places with doing that. You don't necessarily need a bigger house. I'm at that point now. I'm divorced, 3 kids grown. It's gonna be me and one of my kids in a year. I'm looking at, and we go out either in the bedrooms and all this space. Do I really need it? And I've been actively planning and thinking about maybe I can move into another one of my cribs that's smaller and stuff like that, more economical, because I ain't using it. Now I'm kind of cool where I'm at now, but I'm being honest, I don't know in a year or two, especially when my youngest son graduates. I don't necessarily know if I need this space. So that's just something that I'm just going through with myself, just thinking about that. You can also clear out all your debts, right? We know that at the end of the day, if we putting out, then we got some certain amount coming in, it's never going to be impactful. So we got to make sure we get on top of everything as far as the debts we're paying out and things like that. Okay. The next thing, I'm gonna say this. Let me get you guys started talking about the strategy that I would use, myself with doing it. But before I get into that, does anybody got any questions, concerns, anything like that? Feel free, guys. If you got any questions in regards to, just I don't know if I'm on the right track. What could I be doing? This has been my problem. Hey, I heard about this. What do you guys? I mean, feel free, guys, because one thing about Mr. Short Dollar. This is free, but y'all know your boy Short Dollar ain't cheap dollar. So you got this opportunity to ask me these questions. So let's take clear advantage of it, okay? Because again, and there's nothing. This is not a beat up session or hey, why you didn't do this? Why you didn't do that? No, that's not what this is for. This is for us to help each other get better and share different things. I'm gonna be transparent with you guys about what I've done and what I haven't done. But it's coming from a place I'm trying to help you guys, right? So if you got any questions or concerns, anything like that, feel free to put it in the chat and let me know. I definitely get on top of it with that. Let me see this and everything. Bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna check something right quick. Again, I apologize earlier about the technical difficulty that we had. Guys, I do want to say before I go into my formula in regards to what I recommend everybody doing. You guys know I'm a member of 100 Black Men South Metro Atlanta. We got our annual golf tournament coming up. I think September 4th that Monday. But definitely I'm put the sign in the chat right now. Guys, if you're able to make it, great. If you at least want to just donate, we do a lot of great work in the community with 100 Black Men of South Metro. Main thing that we do in the community, we mentor young men, especially young Black men. And if you just want to make a $100, $100,000 donation to the 100 Black Men, we definitely will appreciate it. And you just say Mr. Short Dollar sent you. But definitely, guys, you can support us. I just put the link for your registration for the golf tournament. But it's a lot of different ways you can donate to the organization. All that's on there. And also, if you want to do any kind of sponsorships and everything, that's listed on there as well. But definitely check that out. And again, if you're looking at us on Instagram and TikTok, you're not privy to have the chat right there with you. You got the chat that's going on those particular platforms. But definitely go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube or Change Your Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden on YouTube. Subscribe to both channels and take advantage of both channels. Have over 700 videos on the YouTube channel. So definitely go there and take advantage of the information. And again, tonight we're talking about will I have to work forever? And the reason why we're doing this show is because there's a growing concern with a lot of people that, are kind of just worried and being concerned. Like, look, man, retirement's around the corner, 10, 15 years. do I have enough money set up? And again, if you're not in, even if you're in a situation where you having a pension, like, damn, is that pension gonna be enough? Because it's nothing uncommon to see people that have retired from one or two jobs and they still out here working, and they're not working because they ain't got nothing else to damn do. They're working because they still need this additional damn money. And a lot of that just came from, just not necessarily being, knowledgeable enough for planning. We're doing it. It's not a knock. We're doing it, not knowing. But if you sit there and say, "Well, hey, I got a pension here. I'm gonna have a check coming in the rest of my life here. I can work here so long. I get a check coming in from there." Damn flies. I get it. I get it. I understand. The issue comes up with that is stuff. You got to be realistic about what you can and can't do. As you get older, in retirement and everything. So that's why we want to have that discussion tonight, because there are a lot of people that went down this road. And you see it. We see, some of our aunts, uncles, grandparents, even parents still working, and they tired as hell, and they just really can't stop working. They can't stop working because, again, they just not enough. And again, some of us, even as children or family members, to see that we want them to be chilling somewhere, but we just can't help them. We got to take care of ourselves and plan for our own retirement. You see this a lot of times, even when people in passing, you see a lot of times, hey man, I can't really even afford to pay for insurance policy for them. Hell, I'm barely trying to do it for myself. And it's nothing uncommon. So just like we're having a conversation tonight in regards to we'll have to work forever and putting in strategies for us to help us retire. These are the kind of things we got to make sure we have with other people that we know, okay? Because again, everybody got shared stresses, but nobody really talk about it. So with that said, I'm going to share with you guys, one of the main ways I try to, help people out, especially if you have started late in regards to thinking about retirement and things like that. And my strategy is what I always kind of look at is going back to the example, what we just said. $30,000 a year. You retire at 60, and you say, God willing, I live to 80 years old. It just fell, right? You get past 80, you ain't got no money. We cross that bridge, we get there. But say you retire to 60, you can adjust, whatever the years, however you want to do it. But 60 to 80, 20 years, and you say, listen, in retirement from 60 to 80, I think $30,000, kids grown, I ain't got no car note. We just get into Winnebago, do a couple casino trips, whatever. 30,000 to help us out. We won't really have that much in bills. So we say $30,000 for 20 years, $600,000. And you say to yourself, look, man, I'm 55. Ain't nowhere in the hell I can put in 10, 15 years. Ain't nowhere in the hell I can save that kind of money. That's just out the damn question. But I am going to need about $30,000 to live. So you don't have to sit there and panic. The thing that I always say to people is, now we've got to work backwards from the goal. That's why knowing your numbers is so important. It's so important for you to know your numbers, right? So if you say, instead of worrying about the $600,000 and trying to get to that number in 15 years, because you're 50 years old, you want to retire at 65. And you like, man, ain't no way in the hell. I got about $40,000, $50,000 in my 401k, but ain't no way in the hell I'm better get that money up. Gotcha. What you need to be focusing on the next 15 years is putting yourself in a position where you can get monthly revenues that's going to total up to $2,500 a month. $2,500 a month is $30,000 a year. I'm telling you guys, your numbers is everything. So you say, D, what in the world, can I do to get $2,500 a month? Or you say I'm gonna be retired. You got to just be proactive, because at the end of the day, what you have not done shouldn't be the determining factor of what you got to do. Right. So we can't sit there and beat ourselves up because we didn't do it, but we still gonna have to adjust our plans. You're not gonna be able to put it, you don't have enough time, plus what kind of income you have to be able to try to put that kind of money to the side. So focus more on something that's gonna generate $2,500 a month. You might say, listen, I might have to give me some rental properties, and don't be so, that doesn't necessarily mean you gotta be this active investor doing that. You can sit there and say, look, I got 15 years. I got 15 years to get my credit straight, get me a couple rental houses. If I got to get some vending routes or whatever, things that probably can go in autopilot. You can get you some rental properties, and you got a property manager, and one is clearing out 300, one clearing out 300. You got 5 properties clearing out 300. We got $1,500 a month coming in from there, right? And this is after property managers paid this, that, and that. And you have those things set up, whatever. But however, you need to be looking the next 10, 15 years. I need to be putting myself in position where I got my stuff in some kind of product that's going to be generating that. You don't have and that's probably the most realistic thing. You say, well, look, man, that's probably not what I want to do. Sometimes we put ourselves in a situation where we ain't necessarily going to be able to do what we want to do. And that's just being real. So that's the thing that I will try to push to anybody. And again, I'm just thinking, property, candy routes, vending machine, vending machines. You maybe get some kind of absentee ownership operation, i.e. a laundromat or whatever. But you know how much money you have to do certain things to do. So, you ain't got to get head over heels with certain ideas. But again, you got to be realistic about the money you're trying to have. I think that in 10 to 15 years, you can put things in place to bring home $2,500 a month easier than you worried about getting a couple $100,000 to live off of. Because guys, again, if you hit 50, you hit 60 years old. I'm sorry, it's like you hit 60 years old and you got $100,000 saved, and you think, okay, that's enough. That shit is gonna be gone in 3-4 years. It's gonna be gone. Trust me. And if you really, like I said, and probably be gone sooner than that, because the vast majority of people are not disciplined enough to allocate this year, that this year. If I got all this money at my disposal, hell, ain't no telling what the hell I'm gonna do. Like I said, that's exactly what happened with the PPP, the disaster loans. However people got it, they got it the right way or got it fraudulent. However they got it. When you're not accustomed to dealing with money, forecasting, planning, and being disciplined with it, that shit will be gone before you know it. It happens all the time. Got a question here, 6 Red Bone 28. I want to pay my house off in 10 years. What's a good plan? I owe $223,000. That's a little bit outside of what we're talking about with the retirement. We're paying the house off. We're doing that. What I would say the easy answer, go to dinkytown.net. Dinkytown.net. Let me put that in the actual chat. You can go to dinkytown.net, and what dinkytown.net is, that's actually a site with about 300-400 calculators on there, and they have a mortgage payoff calculator, and you can plug in at $223,000. You can put in the period of 10 years on there, and they'll let you know what you need to be allocating on a monthly basis to pay it off. And if you want to put more than what they forecast you to have doing it, they can let you know what you need to be paying on there. But the best thing I say, go to dinkytown.net, DINKY town, TOWN.net. It's a site just for tons of different calculators, mortgages, finance, investing, all kind of different calculators. But you can find a mortgage payoff calculator. Plug in the $223,000, put in the 10 years. They'll give you the dollar amount that you need to pay. And if you want to add a little bit more to what they recommend, they'll let you know the accelerated period with doing that. But that'll be the easiest way for you to do that. But then going back to what I was saying, just that $2,500, guys, I think that's more. Check out that video, what I put in about how to save for retirement the short dollar way. You can't get around it. Like I said, time is time. Time is time. And again, you don't beat yourself up about what you haven't done. You quite welcome. Don't beat yourself up about what you have not done. Just get on track about what you need to do for yourself. Okay, we can't change time, and we definitely can't get time back. But like I always tell people all the time, control your controllables. Stuff you in control of, take advantage of it. No one cares about you haven't done certain things. No one cares about that, right? You can't fix that. Done is done. But you have total control about what you can do for yourself, what you can do, for handling your future, and make sure certain things are in place. You have total control over that. So I want you guys, to be proactive. We're doing it. We had a good discussion tonight. I wish more of you guys asked me some questions. We got all this information right here. I'm trying to just think right quick. I just want to see something right quick. Definitely, guys. I want you guys to make sure you're going to checking out the Dinkytown website. Also, go check out those videos I put into the chat about how to plan for retirement the short dollar way, and also how to save for retirement. There's some great information on those videos. Definitely, guys, get a chance, go by. No, don't get a chance. Make sure you take the opportunity to go to the hit the link to go to the 100 Black Men of South Metro site And if you can't go to the golf tournament, just donate $1 too. Help. We do a lot of great work in the community for the kids and stuff. So definitely, if you can help us out with that, it'd be greatly appreciated. With that said, I'm going to get ready to wrap everything up. I appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. Like I said, I'll be back here next week because Lab or Reed birthday, whose it is and stuff. But I'm gonna be out of the net next week as well. So I really appreciate all you guys that have tuned in tonight. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully we can get that air compressor, whatever, in the car, because your boy was damn melting in that damn place today, guy. Dog, I was hot as hell in my damn car, and it just came out of nowhere too. So definitely keep Mr. Short Dollar in your prayers by getting my damn air conditioner fixed in my car. But listen, I love you all. I appreciate all love, support. Hope we had a discussion impact you guys in a positive manner. We'll be back next week with a show and everything. But as always, take care of yourself. Again, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Change Your Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. Subscribe to both channels. Hit the bells to get a notification each time we upload a new video. We got a lot of great information on both channels. On Mr. Short Dollar, we have an active grant playlist with over 150 different grant opportunities for you guys to take advantage of. In the past 2 weeks, I think released information on probably about a good 10 or 12 different small business grants for you guys to take advantage of. We had a young lady came in last week, said she had won the $20,000 that Be Good Beyonce grant last year. She had won it was $20,000 or $25,000. She was a winner. She got it from the YouTube channel. So listen, I mean, stuff is real. This ain't, potluck and everything. Don't get discouraged if you don't win or whatever, but hell, it's free money. So take advantage of it. So listen, guys, best of luck, y'all. Hope this information helps you. As always, you can leave a comment or question in the on the YouTube channel, or, if you catch it on Facebook or whatever. But definitely, if you got a question, anything running across your mind later, leave a question. I check the comments and everything. So definitely go there, leave your comment there and everything. What's up, all? I'm trying to think of anything off the top of my mind. Let me check my notes. Mention that. Oh, big shout out to all the alumni of Charles Lincoln Harper High School this Saturday, July 29th, at Charles is a Harper Archer Elementary School, but I'm a graduate of Charles Lincoln Harper High. We are having the annual Harper Day celebration this Saturday from 9 to 5. So all the class from 1964 to 1995, we're going to be at the field out there for Harper Day party and having a good time. So I look forward to seeing all my Trojan alumni at Charles Lincoln Harper High, with Harper Archer Elementary School at the field at the high, having a good time. So listen, man, definitely y'all be out there. I don't give a damn if it's 100 degrees or a monsoon coming out. Come out there and party with your folks and stuff like that. If you're a Trojan, come on out there, Trojan Nation, and celebrate with each other, okay? Love you all. Be safe, and I will talk with you soon. Take care.